Good afternoon. My name is Marshall Bullock. I want to speak to you today about international communications. Have you ever wanted to travel the world? What about, let's take a quick look at the world here. It's 2/3 water, and for thousands of years people have traveled by boats around the world. If you travel by a boat, you are immediately immersed in a new world by seeing these cultures and visiting new places around the world. If you do travel by a boat, one of the things that you'll have to do is know some of the signs and signals that you use from a boat. So that's what I'm here to discuss with you today. The fact that we speak from boat to boat with signs and symbols. The most common one that you see today is a national ensign or a United States flag. This particular flag that you see in the background here is the same as Old Glory, the stars and stripes that you're used to seeing everywhere else at every flagpole and police department, fire station in the United States. The difference is this is for yachting. So when you're on the water, you might see this flag in place of a national ensign. Each vessel has its own country posted on its mast. So each of these flags that you see here might be represented on any vessel you see, and you should be able to look and tell right away what country that boat is from, and is a sovereign territory, sovereign land of that country. The flag will always be prominently displayed on the main mast, and any time that you're pulling into a port or pulling out of a port, you'll be displaying that flag. Those flags are rendered with honor and ceremony, and usually raised every morning and lowered every afternoon. It's up to the individual that is in charge of the vessel to decide the time and the process. However, it is tradition to do that. National ensigns can be from any country. As you can see, my reference here is from Canada, and this vessel is indicating that they're waiting to go into Canada, is waiting to clear customs. The Canadian flag being the host flag or the host country, and the yellow flag or Quebec flag from the International Code of Signals is indicating that they're waiting for customs clearance or a customs visit before they can go ashore. Jacks are flags that are flown on the bow of a boat, and usually only when in port. A jack flag is flown from the jack staff or the short staff on the very bow, and typically on government vessels or military vessels. Most every military vessel will have a jack. The one I have depicted is the Brazilian naval jack. Distinguishing marks. Flags are also distinguishing marks. In this case, I have a NOAA flag, or National Oceanic and Atmospheric Mark, and it's showing that that vessel works for the division of NOAA, and they each have their own job or task that they're distinguished by. So NOAA has their own flag, the Coast Guard has their own flag, the Coast and Geodetic Survey has their own flag, and the Corps of Engineers has their own flag. Just a couple examples in the United States, because those are branches of the government that we're familiar with here. The next flag you might see on a mast or a halyard is a flag of rank, and basically some vessels will have an admiral or a general, and he has his own flag. So in an armada or in a group of ships, the one vessel that has the senior person aboard will have that flag for that person. In this case, Admiral of the Indian Navy flag, but it could be for a prime minister or a defense secretary or any one of a group of people that want to be identified. Pennants have a series of meanings. In this case, I've displayed the gin pennant. And basically what they're signaling is, while they're in port, they'll hoist this flag to say that we're going to have a party tonight. So everybody come on over and have a good time. However, pennants can also mean different things. They could indicate maneuvering, or it might mean that you have a senior person visiting. The English Navy, well, in many navies, they have church pennants, which are typically flown on Sunday mornings, and when they're having divine services in the middle of the ocean or in port. There's also a commissioning pennant. And a commissioning pennant is simply a small strip, approximately 1.5 yards long, and it indicates that the captain of the vessel is a commissioned officer. House flags. And you might not be able to see that this is the RMS Titanic. The Titanic was owned by the White Star Company, hence the white star on the top of the flag. The house flag is the company flag. Indicates who the vessel works for. It's usually on the bow or the stern, and it might be a swallowtail shape or triangle, or sometimes even square, but usually a swallowtail is the primary one. Then there's a private signal. Essentially, an owner has the right to identify his vessel by his own flag. So it might be the family flag or the owner's flag. Forbes Yacht, for example, might have the Forbes flag. In this case, the Finnish Motorboat Association, they have their own flag. It's depicted behind me. Usually swallowtail in shape, based upon family heraldry. Now, not necessarily a crest of arms on the flag, but it would be flown at any time to indicate the ownership of or the family, and used when not racing. Just so their racing vessels have an entirely different process for flying flags. Next is a burgee. A burgee is a yacht club or association. It is an indication of the group that you're coming from. If I was to sail in my sailboat from Alaska to San Diego and pull into the San Diego Yacht Club, when I arrived, we would trade pennants, and that way I would keep one of their pennants and they would keep one of mine, and usually they hang on a wall. In this case, I have a sailing pennant or yacht club pennant from Zagreb, Croatia Yacht Club. Just indicates who you sail with typically. Also triangle in shape. So that's a quick and simple on international signals and signs. Pretty soon you too could be an international communicator. Learn what some of these other flags are. They each have a different meaning, and they're pretty simple, but you can look at that boat that's 1/2 mile away and see from a distance what they're doing or what their intention is or where they're from. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much.